Interview. Define it is questioning of a person believed to possess information which are relevant to the investigation of a crime or criminal activities. The golden rule in interview: never conduct or let anyone conduct an interview if the interview has not gone to the crime scene. The questioning should be in agreement with the facts and condition of the crime scene. The questioning will lead reward for the interview who had not seen personally the crime scene, and he will not be in a position of distinguish half-truths, exaggeration, or falsehood from the answer of the person being interviewed. Number 3, qualities of a good interviewer. A raptor defines its relation between an interviewer and the interview, which is conductive to a faithful result. The interview must be in respectable civilian attire because most often the majority of people, the police uniform is barrier in establishing good rapport to many the uniforms in intimidating. B. Forceful personality. The appearance of the interview and other qualities such as skills of communication techniques or the force of his language are the mainstays of the strength of his character. C. Knowledge of human behavior. This will be help of the interview to determine the personality and intelligence of his subject. He must go down and up to the level of understanding of his particular subject. D. Conversational tone of voice. His tone of voice must be conversational, not confrontational as an interrogation. A common interest. His preliminary and probing questions should be aimed to establish common interest between him and the subject. F. Acting qualities. He must possess the qualities of an actor, salesman, and psychologist and know how to use the power of position. Humility. He must be courteous, sympathetic, and humble, ready to ask apologies for the inconvenience of the interview. Number 4, cognitive interview defined. It is a form or technique in the conduct or interview upon willing and cooperative witness where they are given the full opportunity to narrate their accounts without interruption, and interference from the interview. 5 reasons why witness refuse to talk and testify. A. Fear of reprisal. The fear of reprisal is always entertained by witnesses who lack the courage to face the suspect, his associated or relatives. This is natural, especially those who have no means to protect themselves or no influential person for them to rely on. Big great inconvenience on the part of those of hands to mouth existence. There is this real inconvenience which will deprive them the time to earn for their living, especially during the ordeal of testifying during trial. See hatred against the police. The hatred may be due to previous bad experience with rogue members of the police organization. The investigate the investigator must show difference between him the rogue policeman by honest and sincere entertain of the complaint against the rogue cops. Letter D is bias of the witness. The witness may be an acquaintance, friend, helper, or benefactor of the suspect. All of this, the other relationship of witness to the suspect must be explored so that an intelligent approach is properly applied. A. Avoidance of publicity. There are witnesses who are shy and they shun publicity that will bring discomfort to their order or obscure way of living. The investigator must hide this witness away from reporters. Letter F is family restriction. Family restriction is some famous and respected families preserve their reputation by instilling to their members the need of approval of their elders on matters affect them, their families. The investigator must talk to the elders for their approval for a member to testify. G. Bigotry, religious or racial, tribal, or ethnic indifference. H. Cultist indoctrination. Some cults or religious denominations exercise religion or moral influence on decision of witness to testify. It will be more apparent when the witness and suspect belong to the same cult. The investigator must be tenet of religion, which truth to the religion leaders to allow their members to tell the truth and give the required testimonial evidence. This is prevailing in our society even to the point of career advancement. Number 6 is common technique applicable to the foregoing reason. Many of these witnesses want that they will utilize as formal witness but their friend anonymous. The investigator must initially agree that the testimonies be given the short of conventionally. Number 7, the stage of handling the interview. Letter A is preparation. The investigator shall review the facts at the crime scene and information from other sources in order that he will be ready for the questioning. Letter B is approach. The investigator must carefully select his kind of approach, which may be a single kind, a combination of two, or application of all techniques. Letter C is warming up. This is done by preliminary or exploratory questions to clear an atmosphere, promote conduct ground for cordiality, respect, and trust for each other. Letter D is cognitive interview. The subject now is asked to narrate his amount without interruption, intervention, or interference. It is only after the completion of the interrupt narration that the investigator begins his direct the cross-examination. Number 8 is roles in questioning. One question at a time. Multiple complex and legalistic question should be avoided. One question at a time is desired. Letter B is avoid implied answer. The nod of head or any other body language as a response to the question should be avoided. The answer must be oral, clear, explicit, and responsive to the question. C is simplicity of questions. A short, simple questions at a time is required if the answer need qualification. Then it should be allowed. Avoid legalistic questions such as who who is the murderer or who are the conspiracy with the suspect. Letter D is saving faces. Embracing questions on the subject on matters of exaggeration or honest errors about time, distance, and description can be avoided if the investigator will cooperate the subject to save his face. Letter A is yes or no answer. Do not ask question which could be answered by yes or no. It will curtail the complete flow of information and will lead in inaccuracy. Number 9 is types of witnesses according to their attitudes. Letter A, knowing nothing type. These are reluctant types of witnesses. They are found among the inadequate and of low level of intelligence. The technique to be applied is go down to the level of intelligence and by the interrogation. Letter B is disinterested type. This is uncooperative and indifferent subject. To deal with them is to find out their field of interest so that they will talk. Their indifference should be demolished to arouse their interest or be flattered. Letter C is the drunken type. The type of questioning by the investigator should be adapted to the psychology of the subject. When the drunken subject has sobered, another interview will be conducted, confronting him about his disclosures while in the state of drunkenness. Letter D is suspicious type. These types of witness are suspicious about the motive and actions of the investigator. The barrier of the suspicions may be removed by sincere explanation or psychological pressure. Letter A is talkative type. These are witnesses who are prone to exaggerated, adding irrelevant or new matters to their narrations. The skillful investigator called prone and unnecessary matters from the relevant ones. Letter F is honest witness. These are the truthful and cooperative witness where the investigator could rely upon with the with or no problem in handling them. Letter G is deceitful witness. These are the liar type of witness. Let them lie and other them to repeat several times their narrations. Letter H, um, typed witness. They are the shy witness. The approach must be friendly and restoring confidentiality of their information. Letter I is boosting, egoistic, or egocentric witness. They will be good witness because or their ability of expressing their accounts of the commission of a crime. The investigator must be patient in dealing with, with them in order not to bruise their ego or self-pride. Letter G, refusal to talk witness. These are the most difficult subject to deal with. Find out the reason of their silence by exploring deeper into the kind of their personality. Number 10 is statement analysis. This is a new name of criminal investigation but got new in actual practice. What is new is the term. It began in United States when a woman reported to the police the disappearance of her children while on board her packed car. The car also disappeared with the children. The police for considerable time scoured the area, interviewed scores of witnesses who claimed to have seen nothing. Number 11 is complaints. The testimonies be reductive to writing. Complaints and testimonies shall be reduced into writing in the form of question and answer. Never use the affidavit from even in testimonies of apprehending officers. The affidavit form is frowned upon by our courts, especially when there will be variance between the affidavit and witness stand account. The informant defined in a informant is any person who furnish the police an information relevant to a criminal case about the activities or criminal or syndicates. The informant may openly give the information of or offer himself to be a witness. The other kind is the one who furnish the police and information surreptitiously and opts to remain anonymous. Confidential information. Number 2, confidential informant. Define he is a person who provides the policeman with confidential information concerning a past crime or a projected and planned crime. He does not want to be defined as the source of the information. Under the law, these informants are protected and their identity could not be revealed by the police even under the court order of the court unless on exceptional case where there is a claim of defense the informant frame up the accused. Number 3, types of informants. Letter A, anonymous informant. He may be an anonymous phone caller, letter writer, or a text sender. Never tell the informant that the investigator already knows the information. The duty is to receive the information, not to relieve any other information to the caller about facts already known. Letter B is rival elimination informant. This kind mostly maintains being anonymous. His purpose is to eliminate the rival person or gang due to competition or other motives such as rebels, etc. Letter C. False informants usually reveals information of no consequence, value or stuff connected with thin air. His purpose is to appear to be on the side of law and for throwing out of the suspicion from himself or from his gang associates. Letter D is frightened informant. He is prodded by fear or self-interest in giving information to the police. He may be one of the lesser gang member who runs to the police when his gang mates are about to be involved in dangerous situation or when the gang he belongs is hot on police trail. He is motivated by anxiety and self-preservation of his willing and firmness in the formation of protect himself and as means in sustaining his feeling of his importance. Letter E is self-aggrandizing information. This kind of information moves around the centers of criminals, group syndicate, and delights in surprising the police about this information. Letter F is mercenary informant. The informant has information for sale. He may have been victimized in a double cross or little share in the loot or given a dirty deal and seek revenge as well as profit in his disclosure. Letter G is a double crosser informant. He used his seeming desire to divulge information as an excuse to talk to the police in order to get more than he gives. Letter H, woman informant. She may be the female associate of the criminals who was roughed up, marginalized in the deal, or being eased out from the group. Care must be given to this kind of informant because women, given the skills and expertise, are more dangerous than men. They often give free romance that will result in blackmailing in the investigator or will result to an extended family or support. Letter I, legitimate informant. Those who desire to give information springs from legitimate reasons. They may business operators who abhor the presence of criminals in their trade, of parents who are afraid that their siblings will be influenced by their friends who are suspected to be criminals. Other are included where their desires to give information are impressed with low motive. Inform motive of informants. A. Vanity. The motive is for self-aggrandizement by gaining favorable attention of importance by the police. Letter B is civic mindedness. Those imbued with the sense of duty and obligation to assist the police in their task. Letter C is fair. It is the engendered illusion of oppression from enemies or from impending dangers. Letter D is repentance. Those lesser criminals such as accomplice or accessories who will have a change in hearts to unburden their conscience. Letter C, informers. Informers defined. He is the person who provides information to the police on a regular basis. They are either paid regularly in a case-to-case basis or none at all. They are cultivated and established by the police on a more or less permanent character and as long as they are loyal and useful to the police organization. Number two is the proverbal basis. This saying goes, it needs of thief to catch another thief. The story of the French police provide a proof that his saying is true. The elite French sorority task to investigate criminal cases hired of ex-convict as an informer. This ex-convict produced outstanding success in the solution of case seemingly difficult to be solved. The ex-convict later became the chief of French sorority and the main was Vidocq. Number 3 is selection of informers. There is no hard and fixed rule in the selection of informers. These are addressed to the sound discretion of the investigator. The informer may be to fix period of assigning or into the case of basis. The informer must be into the trained that they are not immune from arrest and prosecution if they commit crimes. Number four is critical areas in the deployment of informers. Letter A is within the ranks of criminals or criminal syndicates. Letter B is associate and friends of criminals. Letter C is place of hangouts of criminals such as nights, clubs, bars, hotels, billiard halls, and other places. Letter D is slums and residential place where criminals have their conducts. Letter E is detention centers such as local jails and the National Bureau of Prisons. In any instances, crime were solved in plenty malls. Among detention personnel in the holding centers is investigate units and in local jails and also the National Bureau of Prison through the agreement of person. F. Places where criminals dispose their loot. Women informers. Number 5, women informers most effectively among informers because they could easily penetrate the ranks of criminal with less suspicion. Besides, they could mingle with the crowd easily and could obtain information more than their male counterparts, especially if their beauty attracts attention. They have um, easier access to women associate of um, male criminals. However, care should be employed as they could easily double across the police ones of